So standing in the very quiet kitchen, early in the morning, shaking up my little orange fit peptide drink here. My go-getter daughter, who sometimes joins me for the very early morning workouts, walks in and says, "Oh, Dad, you're drinking that silly orange peptide drink again?" And my response to her was, yeah, I'm drinking it again because if you only knew what I knew, you would be drinking it too. Honestly, it's so noisy out there right now in the world when it comes to the world of peptides, and people are throwing around the word natural like a blanket term when it comes to all of these peptides. Yes, because peptides are your body's natural communicators, but synthetically producing those peptides does step outside the natural order of things, and that kind of drives me crazy. If you feel like peptides have your interest, but you want to be more informed, I'm going to break this down simply for you. Here's the simplest way I can say it. Your body runs on tiny chains of amino acids. String 2 or 3 of them together, that is a peptide. If you string 50 or more together, now you're talking about a protein. So think of amino acids like studs on a Lego brick. Snap a few of them together exactly in the right order and shape, and the little cluster becomes a key. And your cells have locks all over them called receptors. If the shape matches the key, turns, and your body gets a message. It might be grow this, or calm down, or release that hormone, or it's time to go to sleep. Now, if the shape does not match anything, it's just a piece sitting in a bucket doing nothing. So you can put, hey, full of peptides, but the peptides actually do nothing. They're not bioactive. They have no purpose in your body. So not every peptide is doing something. Only the ones that actually fit into the locks are the ones that work. You already know some of these peptides without even realizing it. Insulin, for example, it's a peptide. The rush you feel when you hug your kid for 8 seconds, that is a peptide. Oxytocin. Hunger, fullness, sleep, stress. Your body is running on this peptide stuff every single hour of every single day. A couple of years ago, nobody outside of the lab was saying the word peptide out loud. Now it's on every health podcast, and half of the supplement shelves now scream peptide from the label. Here's what happened. Pharmaceutical companies figured out how to copy some of those natural signals and re-engineer them so they survived in the body a lot longer than nature intended, is the key. And that is where the injectable weight loss drugs came from. A synthetic peptide that needs to be injected because it can't survive digestion in order to mimic a natural peptide response in your body. There's also some oral versions of these synthetic peptides popping up now too. They are powerful, as evidenced by the gaunt faces taking Hollywood by storm. Here's the thing nobody tells you upfront. Something built to last 7 days in your system instead of the normal 2 minutes does not act the same way your body's own signals do. Longer and stronger is not automatically safer. That's not bashing anybody's choice. It's the chemistry of how these things work. And I just think we should all understand and be informed with the implications and our options and choices that are out there. It also drives me nuts when people are calling synthetic simple amino acid supplements as some of the terms they use, trying to label it as made by nature when it's actually a synthetic copy of nature acting in an unnatural way in your body. And perhaps a topic for another video, but underneath that, there's a whole gray market of these peptides for sale online right now with zero real research behind them, sourced from who knows where, injected with no medical guidance at all. I'm not here to scare you off the topic. I'm just here to make sure that you know the difference, because I didn't know until I really started to dig in and understand peptides further. I completely get how the whole peptide and supplement space can create some kickback. Companies are well known for exploiting marketing to convince you that they have the answer. So I do not blame anybody for being skeptical, and I actually welcome the skepticism over just the blind trust. Here's what pulled me in. Make Wellness is not making synthetic injectable versions of anything. They are actually finding peptides that already exist in nature in things like faba beans and brown rice, identifying the exact ones that are bioactive, meaning they fit a real lock in your body, and then concentrating them into something you can drink or take in a capsule form. No injections required. Literally sourced from food, not built in a chemistry lab to outlast your own biology. The orange drink, my Fit formula, is built around a peptide isolated from faba beans that has actual published research behind it, and it's tied to supporting muscle function. I stack my Fit peptide with Hydrate, which is clean hydration, because muscle needs both signal and hydration to actually do anything with the signal. If you're dehydrated, they're not as effective. Restored, the deep sleep peptide, is built around a peptide from brown rice, and it's tied to supporting the body's cortisol response, which is a fancy way of saying it helps your stress hormones come down enough that your sleep and your nervous system could actually reset. Single data 4, I need a lot of nervous system resetting. Here's the thing, I don't say just take the peptides and everything changes. None of this replaces eating right, moving your body, or sleeping like an adult. It basically supports the choices you're already making, and it helps carry those choices deep into your cellular biology, so you start getting further with your wellness sooner. It just helps like connect the dots, because as we get older, it feels like it takes a lot to connect those dots. Here's what I'm not interested in. I'm not interested in drastic, chemically manipulated shortcuts, because that always comes with a side of consequences and long-term implications. I would just urge you to read the insert or the warning or the possible side effects connected to these synthetic peptides. In our modern world, I am interested in leveraging nature to help us keep up with those modern changes, because we are a long way from the Garden of Eden right now. Quick heads up, I am a Make Wellness affiliate because I believe in this route, and if you do use my links below, you can order and get some money off your order, and I do earn a commission on that. Do chat with me, keep me informed so I can help you make the best choices for you and support you. If you remember nothing else, remember this. Our bodies were built for scarcity. Work hard to find your food and sleep when it's dark. Move constantly just to survive. Now we got food on demand, lights on at midnight, and most of us, like me, are sitting more than we're actually on the move. Hello, desk job. So our internal signals are still trying to run a 2,000-year-old software on a body that's living in 2026. That mismatch is why so many of us feel hungry all the time, can't hold on to our muscle like we once did. We're frustrated with our willpower without really understanding the underlying modern day like signaling problems that are going on. That's exactly the gap natural bioactive peptides are built to close, gently. Not by overriding your body, but by supporting the language it is already speaking, just helping it translate those behavior changes better. I think about that with my own kids, honestly. I'm 49, working to put on lean muscle again, and I want them to watch me figure this out the right way. Not the fastest way, not the injectables, lose 40 pounds in 90 days, the slow, sustainable, still standing and better off than I was 10 years from now. So keep following along. I'm gonna share my journey as I'm a work in progress, turning 50 this year. But next time you see the word peptide on a label, you will know to ask one question. Is this synthetically manipulated or naturally derived? And is it actually bioactive? Or is it just a bucket of the wrong shaped Legos? You will see, and perhaps already have been seeing, that peptides are on labels everywhere right now. So something might be rich in peptides, but does that peptide actually fit, lock and key, and communicate with your body to make it a bioactive peptide? All of these nature-driven peptides I've taken have been shown in studies to be bioactive. Bioactive. So as I mentioned, link to what I personally use is down in the description. I'd love to hear from you if you have any questions, but did you learn anything new about peptides today? Hit subscribe and journey along with me as a single dad of 4, learning how to prioritize muscle as I approach 50 so I can be a clear and present force of nature in the lives of my kids.